Shortly after court, I really just wanted to be alone. So I requested to get moved to segregation. I was moved to a pod J2, which is segregation. In other words, solitary confinement. These cells are single man cells. You're in there by yourself. Inside these cells are nothing but gray walls, along with writings from previous inmates. Yeah, I was in here for 4 days, 12 months, 2 years. Jesus Christ is Lord. There are no books, no other inmates in view. Yeah, one would get a lot of thinking done. If you came for thinking, you would get a lot of that done. I blame myself all day long, put myself in this situation. I died inside. Every time I thought about calling my wife and children, and if I got the chance to use the caller's phone, I would call them. My mama came every week to make sure she had money on my books so that I could have food. That's really all you could have in solitary confinement with your food. They took my orange clothes and gave me black and white stripes. You were allowed canteen. Canteen is food, in other words, inside your cell. There's a big window for the guard so he can easily see you. There's a cold concrete slab that's your bed, and a stainless steel toilet, and a small desk over there in the corner. If you stretch your arms out, a person could touch both walls. That was the width, but the length was about 3 feet longer. The cell was very small. After a couple of weeks of isolation, my subconscious started to go to war with itself. I believed that I had 3 different personalities. One was good, that was me. Then I had a bad side, which was assassin. And then a flashy, flamboyant side that I named TK. Man, these scenes started to play out in my head during this battle of the mind. TK was killed by assassin. He was murdered for putting us in this life-changing situation. Assassin hated being locked up. He couldn't take it from him. So he announced his spotlight and left it to Caleb. Me, alone, by myself. Mentally, I was a wreck. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. I didn't want to lose my life. I didn't want to lose my wife. I wanted to be free. I couldn't run and hide anywhere anymore from the truth. I used to numb these feelings with a variety of different drugs when I was free, though. Now I had to deal with them sober. It's getting hard to breathe. Every hour when the guard did their count, they would just sit there, flashing their lights, and I'd be staring off into a distance. Week after week, my mental status started to drastically transform.
You know, TK
was the one who put us in this situation.
This to us.
And I was suffering from it. I hated it. How did I end up here? I started praying to God about everything. Sometimes I could find myself talking to him for hours, like I was in a trance. I became my place of tranquility. Sometimes while I was in deep dark thought, I could hear the treacherous voice of assassin. It makes me tremble, always starting with this evil laugh, and then this assassin. It's every dark night, your worst nightmare. Everything that has been dark, he's mixed with this ghostly, unseen world of evil. He's a serial killer without a conscience. The ecstatic voice, embodiment of fucking pure evil. Everything, every day, I fed him more and more hate. But I hated myself. I fed him myself. I killed myself. Please let me out. Assassin could never fully emerge because of my employment to Christ. Caleb is a great outsider when it comes to complete isolation. I think everyone is. There's no sun ever, no clocks, no sense of anything, just total silence all the time. Every day, all day. Silence, nothing. Sometimes Inmates would talk under the door to random people. The sounds of others was comforting. For a few moments, I felt I wasn't alone. Then abruptly, the power goes back to quietness and hopeless depression. I started to notice a rash on my face and neck. I couldn't figure out where it came from, nor did the doctor when they took me to him. See him later. Later, mental health services came to the pod to talk to the inmates. They did this once a month to check on the status of the inmates, make sure we didn't go crazy. When they arrived at my cell, I told them everything. Then I mentioned the rash of bumps on my face. Mr. Green pulled out a flashlight and shined it in my face, laughing, like he have heard a joke or something. He told me,
"You're going through puberty."
Puberty? What do you mean, puberty?
It's called stress puberty.
This is what teens go through when they become aware of the pressures in life. All my life, whenever I wanted something, I just went out and got it. I didn't stress. Even as a young adult, I took pills for fun that took away my stress. I never went through any puberty, so I never dropped the ball. I guess not until now.
I'm fighting for my life,
worst pressure in
Yeah,
my
I'm fighting
life.
for my life.